Removing a difficulty from a Muslim is such a huge blessing. Any difficulty, any problem. The Prophet of Allah ﷺ said that on the Day of Judgment there will be shade for 3 types of people, and one of those people is he who removes a problem, removes a difficulty from a fellow Muslim. Even if to the extent that if you see a stone on the ground and you remove that stone so that your fellow Muslim will not get tripped up on that stone, this again is a blessing. If you do it with this good intention. There's a hadith of the Prophet of Allah ﷺ, and the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said, Deen is only looking after the welfare of Muslims. Part of your deen is looking after the welfare of the Muslims. But do we worry about the Muslims? On page 231 of the book, Muntakhab Hadithin, published by Maktabat al-Madina, the publishing department of dawateislami, it is stated, wishing good for others and carrying out the welfare of every Muslim have very comprehensive meaning. Moreover, the true fact is that carrying out the welfare of every Muslim is such a noble act that if every Muslim starts acting upon this very prophetic teaching, holding it to be dearer than even his whole state, then the state of the deteriorated Muslim society will suddenly change. And the Muslim society will become such an example of peace and tranquility, it will start reflecting the peace and tranquility of paradise in this very world. Meaning that if we start worrying about the state of our Muslim brother, if we start worrying about him, and we are concerned about him, and we do everything to help him, then would you backbite your brother? No, you wouldn't. Would you cheat your brother? No, you wouldn't. Would you do any fraud with your brother? No, you wouldn't. So if you had just this, that I want to make sure that my Muslim brother doesn't have any concerns, and more importantly, nothing that I do affects my brother in a bad way, then you would change yourself completely. You would stop lying, you would stop cheating, you would stop swearing, you would stop backbiting, you would stop doing all these things. And we're told here that if we did all these things, then the peace and tranquility that we have here, it is said that paradise would be in this dunya if we had all this tranquility. So by changing ourselves into the state that we help people, and to the extent that we stay away from sins, would improve the whole society, not just ourselves. If only we had this mindset, that we want to help people, that we want to help our fellow Muslim brother, that we want to remove a worry from them. Whilst mentioning the definition of welfare, Hakim al-Ummat Mufti Ahmad Yar Khan Naimi Rahmatullahi Ta'ala states, he states in terminological terms, carrying out the welfare of someone sincerely without having any doubt or ill will or wishing good for someone sincerely is called welfare. Meaning that if you help someone with the intention that you're not going to end in any personal gain. Because nowadays what happens is, we help people. Why do we help them? Because, I need him to do me a favor. He'll be useful to me in the future. Yeah? And if I help him today, he'll help me tomorrow. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. This is why we help people. Do we help people purely and simply because of who they are that are Muslim? Or do we help them because, this person, tomorrow he'll be useful to me. This person, he'll help me in the future. I need to help him because, in the future, I need to get my children married and he will help me. Yeah. I need to help him today whilst he needs help because tomorrow he will help me get my child benefit, get my visa, get this or get that. All these things, these wrong intentions. But if you help people purely with the intention to please Allah Azza wa Jal, inshallah Allah Azza wa Jal will be rewarded. There was a person I knew, and he was told by his father, this is a true story in this country, he was told by his father, beta, that if anybody breaks down on the road, stop and help them. Whoever they are, always stop and help them. Maybe you can't always repair their car, maybe you can't always get them, but at least try and help them. Maybe they need a tire changing, maybe they need help changing the tire, maybe they need a jump lead. And the son said to the father, Abbajan, what is the benefit of this? And the father said to the son, beta, if you do this, then one day when you need help, Allah will send you help. Now that same son, he made a habit. He made a habit that whenever he saw somebody broke down on the road, he'd stop and help them. And one day this student, he became a student, he was at university. And he was at someone's friend's house, and he came out at 2 o'clock at night. He was with his friends till 2 o'clock at night, and he came out to go home, and his car didn't start. And he remembered his father. And he said, Ya Rab, my father always used to say that you will send help when I need help. Ya Rab, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Where's help going to come from at 2 o'clock in the morning? This brother, he told me, a door opened, and a person looked at him and said, You're all right, mate, you need any help? And he said, my battery's flat. He said, just a minute, I'll go and get my leads. And he came out, jump-started his car, and he went home. And he remembered that my father always told me, help people. Not with the intention that they will help you. Help people so that when you need help, Allah Azza wa Jalla will send you help.
We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel.